Welcome to the Student Athlete Spotlight, featuring local high school sports. We'll have candid interviews with coaches, students, and more. So it's playtime.
You know, there was rumors a couple of years ago that football was on a decline. I don't see that. I think
it's on the upcline.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When I came down here 4 years ago to be the head coach at Leonardtown, I didn't know what to expect. But I've learned very, very quickly that our coaches in Southern Maryland care about our kids a lot.
I just think the opportunities we're providing for these young athletes, giving them an opportunity and a chance to get out of here. You know, it used to be one school you went to, you're going to get recognized, but now coaches are coming down seeing all the schools.
I mean, Southern Maryland football is awesome. When we work together and when we get Southern Maryland football going, I mean, it's special.
This episode is sponsored by Mark Frisco with Century 21 Real Estate.
All right, welcome back. A Student Athlete Spotlight here. I got 4 local head coaches here to spend some time with us. We're going to talk about the community a little bit. Coaches, give us a quick blurb about what, this is all about bringing people together and getting people excited about sports in Southern Maryland. And I was talking to Coach Bell earlier about just the improvement, I think, in the area recently of just the sports in general. And it's the schools, all of them in general, just getting better all the time. But what are some other things we can do, in your opinion, to help keep building that? Start with Coach Wynn.
Got you. So you say what do we want to do? What are some ideas that we can do to kind of build up the unity and the sports down here in Southern Maryland and kind of like the awareness of it?
Yes.
I think this is what we're doing right now. Coaches coming together and, we compete against one another on the field, but that doesn't mean that there's not a mutual camaraderie and respect among each other as professionals.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think doing things like that together, working together, and just putting on different camps and just I think working together, I think is kind of like the biggest way to show that unity and show that there's Southern Maryland football is awesome. I'm super biased. I played at Patuxent. Right. I played for this guy, but I mean, if when we work together and when we get Southern Maryland football going, I mean, it's special.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Coach Crounse?
Well, there's no doubt I agree. The sports have been exponentially growing and being better, and I think one of the main facets that I see is our ability to help kids who might not have what other kids have or are going through things at home that we may or may not know about, but we give them that foundation, and I think that's really paramount to what we do as high school football coaches. The one thing that I think that we all need to do better is support all the youth programs as they're coming up through St. Mary's, Coward, Charles County, whether it be coaching the coaches or just supporting more participation. I don't think there was rumors a couple of years ago that football was on a decline. I don't see that. I think
it's on the upcline.
I agree. Absolutely.
I agree.
It's not a word.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%.
And flag football helped. I don't care what anybody says.
Sure does. And so I think people see the value in football,
Yes, sir.
and
question.
the greatest team sport that there is, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
Coach Bell?
I just think the opportunities we're providing for these young athletes, giving them an opportunity and a chance to get out of here. And I think people are starting to see it. The parents are starting to see it. The parents are starting to trust us more. It used to be one school you went to, you're going to get recognized, but now coaches are coming down seeing all the schools. Yep. I remember when I was a college coach coming down recruiting from all these different schools down here. I'm like the only one visiting, and that was a big deal. And now everybody's trying to come through, and we're talking about each other's guys.
Yep.
They're asking about Patuxent, which is weird because when we do the circle, it makes more sense to include Patuxent with us in Southern Maryland and St. Mary's County because they're close. They're right down the street.
Yeah.
So you should include those. And it's the same type of kid that we're it's no different. And I think the opportunity that we're providing for them is getting recognized now by everybody.
That's great.
No question.
Coach Cunningham?
I mean, I think I was up in a private school league for many years, and we played Coach Wynn's teams and Coach Brady's teams, and there was definitely a competitive atmosphere. So when I came down here 4 years ago to be the head coach at Leonardtown, I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, with coaches in the league, with Ryken or our players or whatever the case may be, but I've learned very very quickly that our coaches in Southern Maryland care about our kids a lot. And our coaches will do anything for our kids. And just like Coach Bell said, I mean, whether it's college coaches coming in, us putting on, a combine for everyone in Southern Maryland to come take a part of, like, we need to help our kids out and give these kids exposure and show that we care about them. And I think that's something that in our league especially, that in the SMAC for sure, that I think we're starting to lean on each other and try to do stuff like that.
And Coach Cunningham, do you see the other sports really starting to support each other too?
Well,
like at your school and other schools? Are you seeing that, or do you need to help support that?
Well, I think it's a little different. I think at Leonardtown specifically, we've always had a solid athletic program. Like, all the sports have been successful essentially besides football. So I think there's pockets here and there that are very supportive. I think it also leans back on the parents too.
Yeah.
Like, if our parents are great and supportive of our kids, that's even better. But as coaches, we need to educate our parents as well as our kids on how to support our kids.
This is a great segue, actually, Coach. Great segue.
Yeah.
Can each of you guys give me one thing you'd love to see parents do more of? Okay? Coach Crounse, go first. Give me one thing. Positive thing, parents. You can help make our job easier as coaches and make the community better in what we're doing.
I mean, obviously support the coaching staffs at the high school.
Support the mission.
Yeah, support. Understand the mission first of all.
Absolutely.
And
totally agree.
100%.
And it's hard being a parent of 4 children, right? It's hard not to be super uber focused
Right.
on your child. I mean, that's just and now me being the old guy, right? Like, I can accept that from parents. Like, I understand, that
Because you're a dad.
Yeah.
You know what
so
it's
they
like.
they don't.
Yeah.
We have to care about 100 kids, and they only have to care about one. But if people could understand the mission, just not to get off. It's not off topic, but Justin and Coach Brady, you guys held that combine at Leonardtown this year, and I think that was a telltale sign of where we're at. Like, the amount of kids that were at that, and coaches that were helping out, or I thought that was a great indicator for our area, especially football, because football is different. Also, because you were talking about like Leonardtown girls lacrosse and boys soccer and all that stuff, and same holds true with all our schools. But that's that club sport mentality. Yeah. Football doesn't have travel football.
Right. That's right.
So it's like a whole.
Yeah.
So when you ask about the dynamic at the high school, it's a whole different dynamic. I mean, we're all they got with football. I mean,
100%.
So we have to be 100%, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
Kind of running through
Absolutely.
what we need to do and how
question.
we need to educate people. It's not the same with those other sports. They play AAU basketball year round except for the season. So
Yep.
Yeah.
And that AC.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gary, you got something for the parents?
Yeah, I just, I mean, you said it perfectly. Just understanding the process and not. I would say they always say you shouldn't have tunnel vision, but for sometimes parents need to have tunnel vision and not see everything around them. A lot of times, parents, like you said, we get so worried about. Well, this kid has that kid has that, this school has that, this school has this, and we miss out on what's happening just right here. If parents could just have tunnel vision, focus on everybody's story is different.
Yep.
Right? Where you end up, I firmly believe when you do the right things, you're going to end up where you belong, right? But your journey and your story getting there is going to be different. It's not going to look like the other kid. And that's okay. Your journey should be different. And just understanding that, you know what? The kids call it, I got to get my first O, right? Like maybe you don't have an O right now, right? But there's a kid right now, he just made Tennessee's roster. He went to Spalding, right? He had one O out of high school. One offer out of high school, right? Nobody was really super interested in him. He was an undrafted free agent, and he's in the NFL right now.
Right.
Now, that's not going to be most kids' story, right? But the point is, you don't need 1,000 offers. His story is so different. Just write your story, right? Write your story with your kid.
I agree.
Perfect.
You get high school once. That's all I always tell the kids. You get it one time.
Yeah.
So enjoy it and love it. Yeah. Coach, you got something for the parents?
Just kind of along the same lines, just like I tell our parents, trust us. Like, we put so much into this. Our staff put so much into this. Like, we are here for your kids. Like, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for your kids. I want them to come back, and this might sound cliche, in 15 years and give me a hug and say, I love you, Coach. I remember this. Like, they now know that we did a good job as a staff with our kids. So trust us that that's what we're working towards. We always have your child's best interest in mind, no matter what. Now, you might not always agree with us, okay? And I can respect that, but just trust us. That's all we ask. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Coach Bell?
Don't wait to expect greatness in the classroom. Because there's too many times I watched this kid in middle school. Best kid playing for the youth program, catching all the balls, running around, running circles around everybody, got no grades. He gets to school, we demand that he do the right thing in the classroom. Kid don't play because we demand that he do the right thing in the classroom. Parents upset. Now all of a sudden, parents calling up every other school saying, "Hey, you know, my kid might want to come here. You know, what's going on?" They want to go ahead and shop the kid around. Because we're demanding the kid to be great in the classroom. Right. If you don't get that right, you're not going anywhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that we get here and when we get to the person's junior, senior year, we want to put Band-Aids on the mistakes they made in academics, but we shouldn't have to.
That's the hard part. Yeah.
And as coaches, we're going to demand that regardless because the best ability in any sport is availability. And if the kid's not available, then what are we going to do with him?
I like that.
Right? So we got to demand greatness in the classroom, and that goes with not only your academics, that goes with your behavior. You can't be the kid just walking around the hallway in the class and think you're going to skip, and then all of a sudden I'm going to play on Friday. That's not the way it works. That's not the way the real world works. Absolutely. And if you do that in college, you definitely done. Right. So I just want parents, when they come off the back, understand that the program you join, whatever sport it is, they have an academic plan. And that academic plan will be tied in to how much they play. That's going to happen. Other exceptions go.
And to that point, for our parents out there listening to the podcast, it starts in 6th grade, right? 5th grade? Like, when's that start for you, Coach Bell? You think for a parent, you talking about their kid getting ready for high school? Academically,
you definitely want to start as soon as you hit middle school. Because you're practicing all the skills then to get ready for high school. And I know the eligibility rules kind of work different for us. You get that restart when you come to us. But if you don't have that organization in middle school, you're going to struggle.
You're building it.
Yeah, because
they're different than all these personal trainers people are paying for. Why don't you pay for some tutors and get them ready academically for high school?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
I think parents sometimes don't understand that, like, college football is great and everyone, like Coach Wynn said, wants to offer, but you have to be eligible. Like, to play FCS or FBS football, you need to have a 2.25, and then you need to meet the scale on the SAT.
That's right.
To play Division II football, you need to have a 2.0 and meet the scale on the SAT. Like, it's not just like, I'm showing up, I'm a ball. Like, that's not how it works. So I don't know if everyone understands that, and I think as coaches, we also need to educate our parents and our kids about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all have stories of those kids that could have been great.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Could have been great. We all have those stories. They're sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we've had some stories, too. I mean, I had 2 kids, that had to go to junior college for fall because they didn't do what they needed to do. But they were so good that, one's playing right now.
Yeah.
So, Ronnie is playing right now.
Oh, yeah.
So
I saw that one of you guys at Northern was Special Teams Player of the Week.
Rex?
Yeah. Up in Maryland.
Yeah.
That's
right.
raised on the field. Wow.
Yeah.
He's a walk-on, too.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing good. Vonnie Watkins had a sack against Penn State Saturday.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They got blown out, but
Hey, still.
he didn't care. But
Hey, yeah.
Your guy had
Good for him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good for him. It's
He
great
was
to see
there.
when you guys do well.
yeah, unbelievable.
So we got you guys together tonight. What, coming here, what does this build for us in the community? I'm excited about what we're doing. That's why I called you guys, and I really appreciate coming out tonight and being a part of this student-athlete spotlight with the Baynet. But, is there something in your mind that comes out and says, hey, this is awesome because of... I don't know, finish that sentence for me.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
This is awesome because of, I'll just state the elephant in the room, right? I'm the St. Mary's Ryken coach. It's a private school, and, it is what it is, right? I think this is awesome because with that being said, we can still have relationships, we can still have mutual respect, and we can still work together because, like you all said earlier, at the end of the day, the goal is to do something and provide a way for our kids down here in Southern Maryland to succeed beyond high school, right? And we're all doing that together. And the fact that I got to be a part of this and kind of step my foot in right now, it's pretty cool. So I'm appreciative.
Awesome.
Well, I'm
That's
always
great.
going to have a relationship with you because,
Yeah, you're my guy.
yeah, I mean, so.
If you don't know, this is my coach. I play for this guy.
I can let me speak to what he's
that'd be
talking
great.
about, because I spent 2 years at DeMatha after I went to Northern. Like I told you, I was going through my midlife coaching crisis. But I wanted to try that, man. Like I wanted to do that. It was as close to college as I'll probably ever get at my age. You know what I mean? At this point, and it was. The athletes were unbelievable. I will tell you that my opinion has changed. I mean, I used to be vehemently against kids going to private school just because I thought I could provide, the same. But the exposure is different, and I'm not going to sit here and lie. You know what I mean? Like, so the DeMatha kids, and Justin could speak to this because he coached at DeMatha longer than I did. I mean, they get different looks than a kid down in Lusby sometimes. And I'll tell parents now, in fact, I told one of my parents, if that's something that he wants to do, then I'll support that. You know what I mean? Because if that's really where he wants to go.
You just send him down the road to me. Tell him I can do it too.
Yeah.
As long as he lives in Lusby.
Yeah, right. They're always banned from Lusby. There's a circle.
No Solomon Steelers.
Yeah, right.
Except the one on Sterling's team.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
see
I'm gonna
this
get
guy in a
Sterling
Steelers
too.
game,
I'm working. Get your son Sterling's like the best 8-year-old in Maryland right now. So
he's a baller.
So I'm a
baller.
full court press.
Who's the guy
I'm
from
just gonna talk to his
Permian?
mother.
Booby Miles. Booby Miles.
Oh, Booby
Miles.
Sterling looks like him when he plays.
But I don't want to sound hypocritical about that, and I have changed my mind. I mean, if we are talking about what's best for the kids, you can't be hypocritical about that either. Yeah. I mean, so I'm not saying that Tyrone and Justin and myself can't coach them, because we can, and I think the coaching is just as good. I'm just saying that the colleges they want to talk to the private school guys. And you know how I know that? I mean, I must have talked to, and I told Justin this, 50 FBS coordinators would be just talking to me on the phone. We'd be talking about football. I coached this is my 29th year. I coached at Patuxent and Northern for 20. I never had a phone conversation as in-depth as what I've had, but and I know that the only reason they were talking to me is because they wanted to build a relationship so they could get kids. Right. And I'm not so stupid as to not think that was the reason. But I got to admit,
It's part of the game.
it was pretty cool.
It's kind of cool.
It was really cool. You know what I mean? So it's just access. They get access.
Yep.
It's not necessarily better from football coach, like I said, from the great men that I've coached with over all these years, because I know they're really good coaches and work as hard, if not harder, than some of those guys. Right. But,
Any other comments about like us getting together in the community?
I just think, Coach Atherton started this with us. And we started going out to the bar together like at least once a month. Yeah. And that made a big difference, though, because the kids understand that we hang out.
Right.
Yeah.
We have the word relationship.
Yeah, we have a relationship with each other.
Gary brought up earlier.
As much as, yes, I'm going to hate Leonardtown because it's game day, got to, they're wearing blue, I want green and gold and all that kind of stuff. And if we play you guys the same way, right? And I got to go hate against you because we're recruiting against each other, right? But we're not. You get the kid because you're supposed to get the kid. That's the way it's supposed to work. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when the kids understand that we have relationships, the parents also understand that they're not just after my kid because of talent. They're after my kid because they're going to do the right thing for them. Yeah. Because they understand that if I had many parents I've had conversations with over the years when you were there was, this kid says, all right, I'm going to Ryken. And I say, okay. And they look at me like they expect me to give a recruiting spiel to get you away from it. Right. And I'm like, no, if that's what if you can afford it, if the money's right, this is where you want to be, why would you not be there? It doesn't make sense not to be there. And if you end up at Great Mills, guess what I'm going to do? That day, first day we started coaching, and you're out there as a player, I'm going to coach you.
You're going to love them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where you go.
Yep.
The bottom line is where you end.
That's right.
And if they understand that we're all in this for the right thing and we're all in this together, and the kids are going to go a place no matter where they go, having that support is great. Because I don't mind. I can still have a relationship with a kid that doesn't go to my school.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And that's what's important. The parents need to understand that we're all in this for the same thing.
Yep.
Sharon is one of my favorite people.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my dude.
Love it.
He messed up my jersey, but that's my dude. I don't know what product he's putting in his hair. But I got a ring around this thing here, and I'm like,
Putting
Sharon, come
soap
on.
on.
He got to be, man. He got the pick and the spray.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's permanently stained.
Might be buying that one.
Yeah.
You got any eye, Coach Cunningham?
No, just the 2 words, relationship and exposure in general. Just, and I think we're trying to build relationships, right, constantly, right? And I think we're trying to provide exposure constantly. So I think that's great. And if we can continue to try to do that, not just us 4, but everyone down here together collectively, I think that just bodes well for everyone.
And something like this, honestly, we were speaking before about just promoting the kids even within the community, I think builds energy and excitement. And, we're kind of focused in this area on the Commanders and the Wizards and the Ravens.
Right.
And, I mean, it's a big like where I come from in Pennsylvania, it was high school sports. That's what they reported. I mean, stats and podcasts and feature articles, and that's who they reported on, and that's what people wanted to hear, and that's what the old guys talked about at the barbershop.
Yeah.
Right. That's what
You know what I
that's what
mean?
we want to build here.
Right.
You know, that's
So
the
I
Bandit's
think
vision,
this is a really good step towards
Yeah.
that, and I think you're going to find nothing but the coaches being willing to do it because
Awesome.
I'm still trying to figure out Instagram and do it. You know what I mean? Like, but that's
And
what
Twitter.
kids. Yeah, Twitter.
I had to create a Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids are like, that's what you do.
The
man.
kids
I like
like
and
it.
retweet. That's all.
That's it. That's it.
Nothing else.
That's
I can't
it.
do nothing else beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's where we live now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
Absolutely.
this kind of stuff, promoting our kids and our athletes is great.
Yep.
Then maybe they won't, have to promote themselves so much either, too.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True that. Yeah. So, hey, coaches, really appreciate you coming out tonight. This is the beginning of us spotlighting the community and the area, and it's guys like you and women like you that coach these student athletes and we all know how much time it takes. It's 24/7 on the phone. Now you talk about the phone and Twitter and all other stuff, but it's 24/7 as a coach. It doesn't end, but because you love it, and you love the kids. That's what it's all about. So we're excited to bring more people on. I know having you guys here is going to, draw some attention and get people excited about it. So in your schools, if you have coaches that want to get involved, let us know. We'd love to get them on the show. And obviously student athletes too. We want to get student athletes on here, spotlight them, and show. We have so many talented, people down here in Southern Maryland who want to spotlight them.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for having
Thank you
us.
so much.
Thanks.